Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be determining who would win in an election between AOC on the Democratic side versus J.D. Vance on the Republican side. We'll be going through each of these key swing states. We'll start with Nevada. I think Nevada would most likely end up in the tilt blue margin. I do think it would be close. I think if it were a moderate Democrat, something more like Andy Beshear or Pete Buttigieg, that Democrats would be able to get to that state by a lean margin. But I think with AOC, and I think many of her views would alienate some independent swing moderate voters, so I think that it would go from lean to tilt, but that is still going to be 6 electoral college votes for AOC. And then as far as the state of Arizona goes, going to do a split prediction between that and Nevada, with Arizona ending up in the Republicans column, J.D. Vance's column. That is going to be 11 more electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. And then we're going to get to we'll go to the other half of the Sun Belt in Georgia. I think Georgia, I usually have this state in the lean blue column, or tilt blue, sorry, for Democrats. I think this is a situation where it would narrow up, but if it were a Democrat, like I said with Nevada, more moderate Democrat, more establishment, that it would possibly have a better shot at ending up going blue. As a prime example of this, Biden was able to win the state in 2020. He's definitely tried to portray himself as moderate, more middle-of-the-road Democrat, but that is going to be the state of Georgia. I think with AOC it would result in Democrats losing the state. And then as far as North Carolina goes, going to put that into the tilt red column as well. This state I feel more confident than Georgia in calling for the Republicans, but that's going to be 16 more electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. And then we're going to get to the swing district here in Nebraska. This district even went to Harris. I do think if the nominee had been AOC in 2024, that it would have probably gone by a tilt margin. I think Harris won it by 3 or so points, so it's closer to a lean margin. But I think that just with the national environment favoring Democrats pretty heavily at the moment, that it would be a Democratic victory, but I do think it would be narrow. So that is going to be the Omaha district there. And then I'm going to start with Wisconsin, which I think is AOC's best hope at winning a key swing state. So that is going to be the state of Wisconsin. And then I do think the other two states here would separate from Wisconsin and end up backing the Republican. Michigan, I do think Michigan is the one I feel the least confident in calling. I think that J.D. Vance's best hope probably comes in the state of Pennsylvania. And I think that AOC would have a real possibility in winning in the state of Michigan. We can do a little hypothetical here, but ultimately it still wouldn't be enough electoral college votes to win the presidency. So I do think Michigan would be close, but for now I'm going to put it in the tilt red column, giving a final electoral result of 296 for the Republican J.D. Vance to 242 for the Democrat AOC. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.